Hi, everybody. Meteorologist Joe Cioffi here. Weather in 5 days in 5 minutes. Brought to you by Omni True Value Hardware in West Babylon, 1226 North Wellwood Avenue, just north of the Southern State Parkway, 631-756-1125. They have the best prices in town, and they are Long Island's largest rock salt provider. And there's a shot of some of the rock salt they have with a winter storm threatening. Omni True Value Hardware has got everything you need with regards to dealing with winter storms, including this one that is setting up for the middle of this week. So take a look at it. 631-756-1125, omnitruevalue.com. So setting that up, and I know we have some weather going on today, but I just want to get this done front and center here with winter storm watches that continue to be issued. We started with watches issued last night for much of New Jersey, except for the coastal counties. The New York City Weather Service office out in Upton, Long Island, has jurisdiction over Northeast New Jersey. Those spots, I think, are going to fill in. In the meantime, we have seen State College put up winter storm watches for much of central Pennsylvania, and we have it up for eastern Pennsylvania, northern Delaware, a good chunk of Maryland, down into northern and northwestern Virginia, as well as West Virginia. And the potential here for snow is considerable. We don't see this sort of thing too often from the weather prediction folks. This is the probability of at least 4 inches of snow in the next 72 hours. And it's not too often, starting with that 4 inch level, that you see a 95 to 100% probability of at least four in that dark shade of red. And that runs north and west of Washington, D.C. and Baltimore, through Philadelphia, right through New York City, and continues on up into southern New England. We also have the probability of at least 8 inches of snow, and they're forecasting an 80 to 90% chance of at least 8 inches of snow, extending from northeastern West Virginia all the way up through Pennsylvania, into northwest New Jersey, and into the southern Catskills. Even for New York City, for example, and just north and west of Philadelphia, we're looking at the probabilities of 8 inches of snow running in the 60 to 70% range. And that's at this stage of the game, with the system still a good solid 2 days away from getting underway. That's a rather high probability. Meanwhile, we do have weather, as we said, going on this morning. We have rain and a lot of clouds. This is both the leading edge of very cold air that will be coming in for Tuesday and Wednesday, and also the fact that we have this storm system, low pressure, moving out of the Tennessee Valley and moving straight east across the Carolinas. That really is going to be the trigger mechanism to bring down the cold air and also set up the blocking pattern that we have going to have in the atmosphere that's going to create this next storm system. Meanwhile, the radar is at midday still fairly loaded. The northern cutoff is sharp, and cold air is starting to come in on the northern side of this, and we're seeing a number of places reporting a mix or even a changeover to wet snow. I don't really think this is going to be a big issue when it comes to snow accumulations, because the temperatures, as they cool off in inland areas, are just going to barely be cold enough to put down a slushy coating to maybe a couple of inches. We have some winter weather advisories up, by the way, for parts of south central Pennsylvania because of this. But you can see the snow amounts from the lead system. Really, nothing really to write home about here. Along the immediate coast, we might even see a little bit of wet snow mix in this afternoon as that cold air works its way through. So there's our low on the surface map from earlier this morning, up in western North Carolina. And then, of course, to the northwest of that, you've got this cold front that's coming down. And if you take a look at some of the temperatures that we're seeing back in Minnesota and Wisconsin and on up into the Dakotas, temperatures are running in the below zero and in the minus teens below zero. So this is a genuine cold air mass that's coming down out of Canada. and is going to be setting up in the Northeast and down in the Mid-Atlantic states. The Weather Prediction Center, certainly this is two systems put together with the liquid precipitation that's being shown, and it is considerable. We're looking at liquid amounts of up to 3 inches. Now, you might want to subtract off about a half to 3/4 of an inch in some areas with what's going through today. So for the storm on Wednesday into Thursday, it could be as much as a 1.5 to 2 inches of liquid producer. And if you're under that, we're going to be talking about some serious snow accumulation. So let's just really quick, I'm going to run through the NAM model here, the new NAM model, and we'll do it on the close-up. This is our system right now. You see that northern flank of snow. It starts to thin out. It gets out of here. Northerly winds. It's going to get windy tonight into tomorrow with this low developing to the east and high pressure coming in from the northwest. Will be dry as we move through Tuesday and head on into Wednesday. And now here comes the snow for Wednesday. Looks like in terms of timing, it will arrive in southern Pennsylvania around lunchtime or shortly after that. You'll see the freezing rain that's being indicated in the mountains of Virginia down I-81 to the North Carolina state line. Then by 7 p.m., snow breaks out across Long Island, northern New Jersey, in the rest of Pennsylvania. You've got an area of sleet that works into southeast and south central Pennsylvania with the low sitting right on the southern part of the Delmarva Peninsula. And here's the part where it gets tricky. It's after that, the low slides east, and there's warm air coming up from the south. There's cold air that's going to be coming down on the backside. So still a lot of details to work out, and the position of the system is going to be very important. If it's a little tighter, might bring in the cold air sooner. And the other issue here with this is the fact that you have the cold air itself, which weather models have a very tough time with. Sometimes in situations like this, the cold air is far more important, and other models have different ideas of how this is going to play out. So the bottom line is there's still a lot of uncertainty going forward, but the risks are high enough that we have these winter storm watches. And again, additional winter storm watches will be going up, and those will include areas I'm for northern New Jersey, southern New England, Long Island, and the lower Hudson Valley. We may see those go up later today or sometime this evening. Weather in 5 brought to you by Omni True Value Hardware. They are Long Island's largest rock salt provider, and they've got everything you need for this upcoming winter storm. They serve Long Island and the New York City tri-state area. 6317561125. They have the best prices in town. OmniTrueValue.com. Everything you need to get through the upcoming winter weather. Okay, so we've got a lot going on today. For Patreon members, you have the early call on the snow, and my first call on the snow for Wednesday into Thursday. I don't expect to be updating that based on today's models. Usually those early calls hang around for a while, and then I'll make a final call sometime, probably Wednesday morning. Also, we will have a special weather video for Patreon members, Weather in 10, which is more detailed than Weather in 5 and oftentimes goes on to Weather in 15. And there will be a weather Zoom tonight for Patreon members. I will put up a link to the weather Zoom after tonight's Joe and Joe Weather Show, which is on my YouTube channel at 7:30 Eastern Time. So I'm going to be very busy keeping you all updated on the weather. And if, by the way, if you are interested in joining my weather platform on Patreon, it's patreon.com/meteorologist Joe Cioffi. It's a subscription platform. It's just $2 a month, but that $2 goes a long way to support what I'm doing on social media platforms, websites, my YouTube channel, and a whole host of other things, including my 2 free apps, which, by the way, you can download on Google Play or on the App Store. There's the Meteorologist Joe Cioffi weather app, which is what it's called. And that app, by the way, has every snowfall forecast map from Maine all the way down to Georgia. So it'll come in really handy to follow this particular storm since it's going to cover a large geographical area. And also Angry Ben's weather app, the Angry Weatherman. My app is available for both for both Android and iPhones, and Ben's app is available right now just for Android devices. Okay, have a great day. We'll see you later.